Hi, it's me, Monica, and I am outside or inside V House today. Um, I'm wearing V House merch today. And if you don't know what V House is, you really need to check out that matcha world on Instagram. That's where I post all my matcha videos or how I make different kinds of matcha. Of course, my first video is going to be on matcha. Of course, it's posted. It has to be. That's my entire personality right now, right? Um, but today I'm going to dive into what matcha is, how is it different from green tea, and why I prefer matcha over coffee, and why you should too. I'm also going to give you a brief history on matcha and show you how to make matcha right here. And also, I'm going to tell you a little bit about how to select the kind of matcha you buy because I feel like a lot of people don't know and they've been hitting me up on Instagram on how to select the matcha they want to get. I've been experimenting a lot with the matcha I have. It's only been like 4 or 5 months since I started like getting into matcha, like actually getting into matcha, but the first time I had it was probably last year. Experienced, not that experienced, but let me give you my 2 cents. Um, so what matcha essentially is, it's green tea. What makes it different from the regular green tea that we have, like the sipped green tea, is that it is fine ground powder. There are these leaves called tencha leaves that are grown in Japan, and these leaves you have them whole, so you can turn them into a latte or a tea or any food product also now. And unlike the green tea that you have that you steep and you only get partial of its antioxidants and benefits, here you have the entire green leaves whole. Um, and there's a very specific way to make it. Matcha is a Japanese product, but it first started in China during the Tang Dynasty. That's when powdered green teas were first a thing. I think I love the concept of tea house ceremonies. I'd seen them in Doraemon when I was a kid. Didn't know what it exactly was, but now I do. I somehow feel like, okay, first let me tell you what it is. A tea house ceremony is essentially um, a very zen spiritual kind of space where a person sits with all the matcha tools in front of them and makes tea for the person that they're serving, and this tea is matcha. During this tea house ceremony, everything matters, from how the door is opened, from how each tool is picked up, from the ambient sound. Everything matters. And the reason I like this concept of the tea house ceremonies is because unknowingly, maybe not as meticulous, but I started V House where I used to invite people in my little space in my room, sit right here, and get people to sit right there. I know you can't see it, but um, and make tea for them and enjoy serving tea to them while having a mini conversation with them. I think this is also a reason why I started loving making matcha and drinking matcha, and thus V House. Now, how is matcha different from green tea? I already spoke about how matcha is the entire leaf, while green tea is just dried leaves that you seep through. Um, but there's a different process in how matcha is actually made in the last 20 days of cultivating matcha. The entire process is different because you have to create a shadow on top of the leaves while they're growing, so the entire tea leaves have a little net on top so that whatever sun rays they get are reduced or minimized, so that the amount of chlorophyll that's in these leaves tend to increase so that they can produce more food. So that is why these matcha green tea leaves are more green as compared to the regular green tea leaves. So these tencha leaves are more green. At the same time, because of the absence or the minimization of the sun, you get, or the leaves get, this compound called L-theanine. L-theanine is supposed to be this compound that's supposed to relax your body. So you'll see a lot of people that are trying to lose weight take L-theanine because it helps you calm or relax your nervous system. Um, it became a whole thing on TikTok. I'm not even going to talk about that. Matcha also has more amino acids because of this shading process. Um, this is why I would prefer matcha over green tea any day. Now, why do I prefer matcha over coffee? In simple hand gestures, matcha gives you a caffeine spike like this, and coffee gives you a caffeine spike like this. So what that means is that you have a sustained amount of caffeine in your body through a longer amount of time as compared to coffee, which gives you a higher spike. So you feel awake and jittery and like anxious. I started getting anxious, but it makes you awake and anxious and jittery and gets you start your day at like with a bang. But matcha is more calm and more relaxed. In Japan, they used to prepare matcha for these warriors, so they would enter the war in a more relaxed state, but a more alert state at the same time. So I'm the warrior going for war every single day with my little matcha in my hand, a little cup of matcha, imaginary matcha. Why this happens is because, like I said before, there's this compound called L-theanine um, in these leaves for matcha. Um, what L-theanine does is it relaxes the constriction of the blood vessels in your body, which caffeine tends to constrict more. That is why you start feeling a little more dehydrated. So now what L-theanine does is that it reverses that entire process of constricting of your blood vessels. So now you have caffeine in your body, which is making you feel awake, as well as you feel a little more relaxed because of the dilation of these blood vessels. So it's the perfect balance, you see. People also talk about how you should have a dirty matcha. Now, what is a dirty matcha? Dirty matcha is essentially a shot of espresso in your matcha. Um, I would prefer dirty matcha over coffee any day, and the reason being that same, you have L-theanine in matcha. Now, if you were to say that you want to have coffee and then you want to take a little L-theanine capsule, sure, go for it. But I'd rather just have matcha because the amino acids and like the taste, and also a little green drink in this. A little fun fact about L-theanine is that it enters your bloodstream and it starts affecting your neurotransmitters for dopamine and serotonin. So that is why you are more in a relaxed and calm state. That is why I would tell you to have matcha. This is why I'm so happy all the time. It's because of my matcha. If you want to have coffee with a little like L-theanine supplement, sure, go for it. But then you know what you won't get? You won't get the chlorophyll that's in your green tea, in your matcha, um, and the excess chlorophyll, which helps you detox your body. You know the green juices that people were having in those tubes that they used to put in their water and drink. I was also doing that when I was 16, 17. Guilty. But I'd rather do matcha now because I'm aware. I feel if you I'm not even going to go to my backstory, but I've lost about 25 kgs, so I'm not even going to like deny the fact that I used to find things that would help me lose weight. I'm not saying that only matcha is going to help you lose weight. You'll have to do other things on the side, but matcha is one of the things that help you detox your body as well as gives you a little caffeine. Caffeine helps with a little, shedding out water weight and bloating and all that. In general, matcha is just the best drink ever. Tell you about the different kinds of matcha. There's ceremonial matcha and there's culinary matcha. Also, it's a lot of bullshit. Why? So ceremonial matcha is supposed to be the best kind of matcha you could get out there because it's made with the younger leaves as well as it is less bitter and it's supposed to be on the sweeter side, so it tastes better. It's perfect for teas. And culinary grade matcha, like the word says, it's better for like cooking or like where you can hide the taste of matcha or like it's more for food items, so not as like potent in its taste. Why is it a lot of bullshit? Because most of the brands say a lower level brand could have a ceremonial grade matcha that would be the same as another brand which is on a higher scales culinary grade matcha. So it does not matter. A lot of bullshit around you. So how do you get the best matcha? In Japan, they use like in different brands use different scales, but one of the brands that I know uses a scale from 1 to 10, which tells you the different flavor profiles of matcha. So just like coffee, there will be flavor profiles in matcha. So there'll be like umami taste, which is to best be described as like a seaweed kind of taste, and then it goes all the way to like bitterness and astringency. And um, I tried to Google what astringency means. Depending on like some of the matcha I've had before, to me astringency is more like I don't know about a flavor profile as much as like the aftertaste it leaves in my mouth. So it's more of like a gravelly, um, or like the grainy texture in your mouth that's left as an aftertaste, or like when you burn your tongue a little bit. I think that yeah, that's the best I could do. Um, and all these like the scaling of the 10 flavor profiles also tells you the quality of the matcha in the sense that um, the more grassiness that you can taste and the less grassiness you can taste, the greener the matcha, the better it is. Um, it is true, but also at the same time, it's not true because there could be several brands that could be adding green coloring to your matcha, and you will think that you're having the best matcha, but you're really not. So, if you take a sheet of paper and you want to like um, put different matcha like amounts on a piece of paper and like try to test the smoothness of that matcha, that could be a better test. I haven't done that because in this economy, I'm not wasting any matcha, but you do you. If you're really out there having matcha that's plumpy, that's basically sugar, water, milk, like whatever concoction, and especially if you're having it from Dunkin', Starbucks, or all these brands, I'm sorry you're not having matcha. Like you're not getting any of those health benefits because of the amount of sugar you're having. Um, but that's the big one. this is my little matcha setup. We have a little ceramic bowl, which is called a chawan, a bamboo whisk in the holder to keep it shape. We have a sieve, like a sieve, and we have a little bamboo scoop for the muffin. Um, Now, there's an extra cup here, and I'll tell you why. So we're gonna heat some water. Um, don't like make sure it's not boiling hot, but make sure it's warm, because if it's boiling hot, you can burn your matcha and then it'll start tasting bitter, and that's why you get like bad matcha. But before you even start making matcha, there are some pre-steps. Today for me is a pre-step is that I am gonna um, open a new matcha, which is the kettle Bokasho Dori, which is single cultivar matcha. This reminds me that people usually talk about how single cultivator matcha is better than the mixed cultivar matcha, but that is not true. It depends from brand to brand, and also depends on a tea taster's taste buds, if that makes sense. But this is supposed to be balanced with a light body and a pleasing, gentle finish. Um, it has gentle sweetness with deep marine notes and toasty hay notes on the nose. I wish I could tell you what all of those things mean, but I am not a tea taster. I'm gonna shut this one off because having matcha open for too long can make your matcha go stale. I know that's bad news. So now that our water is hot, we are going to pour some in a cup um, and let a bamboo whisk soak. The reason I want to do this is because the bamboo whisk, which is a really intricate device that's made using a single piece of bamboo. That's crazy artistry. But the reason you want to do that is because when you try to whisk your matcha, it tends to break because the bristles are kind of hard then, and this helps soften it. Then you can do that for like 30-40 seconds, just like a little bit. I'm gonna take your little bamboo spoon and scoop out some matcha. You're ideally supposed to use 2 grams of matcha per cup of matcha, but because I've made it so much and I know how I like it, I know I do 2 scoops of this. This is a really nice device that literally like holds about 1.5 to 2 grams of matcha in the first place. The reason you want to sift it is because you don't want to frozen your matcha, especially when you're trying to whisk it and when you're drinking it. Like you don't want like pieces of matcha in your drink. I know this water is not too hot because I know when to stop it now. I've made it too many times. And you're just gonna put a little bit so that you have enough to be able to get like a tiny sip. If you were just gonna have this. Also, I'm making a matcha latte. The process of whisking matcha is the same. So you're gonna go in a Z pattern and make sure you're not rubbing against the bowl. You just want to whisk it enough so that there is frothiness in the matcha. You can always use an electric whisk. The reason I would tell you to not use an electric whisk is because the kind of bubbles you get on top of the matcha with a bamboo whisk versus an electric whisk are different. So it tastes slightly different. I don't know how that works, honestly, but I have tried it and it does taste different. This is what it looks like. So I'm gonna take a little cup. The cup I made in pottery glass instead of this glass. It's kind of pretty now. And we're gonna take some. I'm gonna take some soy milk. My favorite kind of milk with matcha. Just a little bit. So we have like a little shot of matcha. I'm gonna pour this. Cheers. Oh, that tastes so good. You can always add flavoring to your matcha. I have a bunch of flavors right in this cart. The one thing I would tell you that I didn't know before is that you're not supposed to add your syrups or your flavors to your matcha directly because it alters the whisking process of it. You're supposed to add it to your milk / your water, whatever you're adding the matcha to. So keep that in mind when you make matcha next time. Also, a little tip for storing your matcha is you need to be in an opaque container, airtight, and if you want it to last a longer time, keep it in the fridge or the freezer. If you have matcha often enough, like me, I just leave it outside because like I'll finish this in like 10 days, maybe 12. It's not good for my bank balance, but I am trying to live with this. Now that I'm talking about matcha, this is hojicha. It's a chocolatey, less caffeinated version of matcha, and I think you should try that too while you're at this. Thanks. See you next time.